Hey everybody, this is Mike, and we are back in the West Kingdoms, looking at the third entry in the West Kingdom series, Viscounts of the West Kingdom, or Viscounts if you want to pronounce things poorly. I'm going to go through an overview of the game and how it's played, and then jump right into a solo playthrough, and really excited to show this one off. And by the way, quick disclaimer that I did get a review copy for this one. If you like the content here at the One Stop Co-op Shop, please subscribe, support us on Patreon, listen to our podcast every week, and check out our new streaming channel for some live content. So to go into an overview of the game before we get to the playthrough, Viscounts is a Euro game. You're trying to get the highest victory points possible playing against an AI in solo. And all the play of the game is going to take place on this interlocking board here. You get to randomize where the sections are located, and they flip based on player count. And your Viscount meeple here, quite a little nice one, will be moving between these clearings that dot the board. 2 on each one of the outside spokes, and 1 clearing on each of the insides. And each turn after they move, they'll be taking one of 4 actions. You've got the little bags here for the trading action, which will generally get you resources to help with other actions. And also on the outside, you can place little buildings from your player board, you'll see that in a second, on one of these little building spots that'll get you a bonus. And also unlocking the buildings gives you persistent bonuses for the rest of the game. And moving to the inside, you can get these manuscripts that will give you immediate bonuses and can also combo together for a lot of points. And finally, you can put your nobles, your little meeples, on these castle spaces in the center, working them in toward the center space and earning ever greater victory points as you do so. And all this stuff is going to tie into your player board, and specifically these 3 spots for cards, because this is a deck builder. You start with a little starter deck, and you'll be playing 1 card a turn, and then each round they'll slot 1 space down, and you can continue playing people. And the key thing on these people, they have this ability at the bottom, but the biggest thing is these icons right here. Because these will tie into those 4 action types I just described. And if you have a bunch of icons, it'll make doing these actions cheaper. Although you can always make up the differences with what you're trying to do with the 4 main resources in the game. We've got ink for the manuscripts, gold for the nobles in the castle, silver coins for the trading action, and stone for buildings. And the player board also nicely lays out what you're going to do on your turn. First, you cycle all your cards 1 space to the right and play a new card. Then you move your Viscount a distance equal to the silver value of the new card you played this round. Then you can optionally dismiss the character card at your new location to gain some benefits. You pick which action you want to do. You can choose to buy the character at your location. That's where the deck building comes in. You might have a clash of your corruption and virtue markers if they meet somewhere on your board, giving different benefits to you and the other players. And then you draw back up to your max hand size, which is generally 3 cards, and you do it all over again. Now, in terms of what triggers the end of the game, you've got these 2 piles of cards, deeds, and debts. And you get them generally in relation to the corruption and virtue trackers I already mentioned. And these cards come in kind of a weaker form, like the debts are actually 2 negative victory points to start, but there are actions that'll let you flip them to where they aren't any negative victory points and give you a free resource. Whereas for the deeds, they start out worth 1 victory point, and flipping them makes them worth 3. But the key thing about these cards is that they are both endgame scoring and also the thing that triggers the endgame. Because once one of these piles runs out, you then activate whichever card is revealed. This is the poverty card, and this is the red one, whose name I forget. And when this happens, you have 1 more round of play, and additionally, the other colored card becomes worth victory points for whoever has the most of them flipped. So if you get the poverty card revealed first, then whoever has the most flipped deeds is going to get 12 victory points, a big haul to receive. Now, the AI has a similar player board with a lot of the same stuff. And this is actually randomly picked from 4 different player boards, each of which will focus on a different victory point generation kind of scheme. In this case, I got the AI that's trying to build a lot of buildings. And their turn proceeds mostly like the player's turn, except they'll flip a single card from their deck, and it'll tell you in top to bottom fashion which actions and effects they have to resolve. But additionally, just like your cards, the icons at the top will tell you what they can actually do. Like right now, this person would have 2 icons for doing the noble action, 1 for doing a manuscript, the little cross, and 1 for building a building, the hammer. Alright, that should be enough to go on. Let's get into the play, and I'll explain the finer details as we go. So my first choice that happens now during setup is which starting hero card I want to get and which player setup card I want to take. And these are set up as pairs. You'll see I have Teresa, who will get me 3 bag icons, good for the trading action to get me resources and things. And she lets me discard a card from my hand or deck to cycle through faster and gives me a ton of virtue. And on the other side, this little one will tell me which space I start on. I could get a stone and 2 ink pots, a bunch of silver, 2 deeds and 1 debt, and 1 virtue move. So just kind of a virtuous overall situation with her. My other option is Emma, who would get me in strong with the manuscript game. She has a cross, which is the icon for writing manuscripts, and she also has an ongoing ability that lets me use resources that usually would not help with manuscripts to make them. And additionally, I would get a bunch of gold, an ink pot, not as much silver, but I would get a free person added to my deck right now before I even shuffle my starting deck. And as I said, the AI is going to go for buildings, so I kind of like the idea of taking something they're not doing, so I'm going to grab Emma and maybe go for a manuscript-focused game. And that card lets me add 1 character right to my deck. And the, I think, somewhat obvious one, if I'm going to go for a manuscript-heavy strategy, is the Traveler. He gives me 2 bags, which is good for the trading action, but he has an ongoing ability that every 2 bags I have also counts as 1 cross. So people that normally would not help me to write manuscripts at all are going to be totally helping me out. Now to look at my other options, I've got a Peddler who's really good for trading and will get me stone for building buildings, a Princess who would help me get into the castle and give me more virtue, and 2 identical characters except different types. The Enforcer helps a lot with getting into the castle, but actually makes you gain corruption when you do so, and Charlatan does the exact same thing, so he's building like these cruddy buildings and making reputation go down as you do it. And by the way, space 5, where I'll be starting, is right here, which makes me want to grab the Traveler even more, because as you'll see, I'll be traveling clockwise around the board, and it would take me a long time to get to them, and the AI might throw them away before I get the chance. So both the Traveler and Emma are going to be shuffled into my starting deck. And whenever you gain a townsperson through any means, you get the bonus or sometimes penalty indicated in the upper right, so in this case I get 1 virtue shift. Which simply enough just means my little white pawn moves, and the key thing is where they meet. You'll see that when we get into our first clash, but I'm going to get what's above the line. Generally on the left is worth more victory points for me, but you get more silver to buy stuff with later on the right, and my opponents are going to get what is on the bottom line. You'll see all that in action. And the other pair of cards is not used at all, except to determine where the AI's starting position is, which is clearing number 1. So they are pretty close to me, and as you'll see, they only travel around the exterior spaces, so they're never going to go into the inside at all, but it won't stop them from doing actions. Alright, with that, I always take the first turn, the AI will always play second, and I get my 3 starting cards. Oh my gosh, and right off the bat I could start going for manuscripts, because I've got the Traveler, who will, remember, let me get 2 bags to equal 1 cross. I've got the Abbot, who gives me a cross. And these little skull icons here indicate that this character is a criminal. Playing them will make me more corrupt. But it's also a wild icon, so in a way it's both the best and worst icon in the game. And notice, by the way, that the player board starts with some icons pre-printed. So that means when I play my first card, I'll also have all of these icons added to it. When I have my second card on, I'll just have these 2 bags. And then once I have my 3 card, for the rest of the game, you'll never see those icons again. They're just covered up. But man, it's hard to resist this first play out the gate. The Traveler, remember, is going to make every 2 bags equal a cross. And look, I've got a cross here, 2 bags here, 2 bags here. I've got 3 crosses if I want them. And I very much do. So the next step is I'm going to move my Viscount 2 spaces. I can move 1 more space for each silver I spend. Let's look at the board and my options. So they're a bit small, but there are arrows on the board showing where your Viscount can move. And you're basically going to always be moving clockwise, but you can sometimes move in or out. So in this case, moving 2, I could go like that and stay pretty close to where I started, or I could go all the way over here, or I could go down here and then over here. And as I already mentioned, to do the castle and the manuscript action, you have to be on these interior clearings. To do the building or trading action with the bags, and what you trade for is shown on the space, you have to be on the outer clearings. In this case, as you saw, I have the potential to do some manuscripts. And every starting manuscript will need 3 crosses to complete it, and that's what I have currently from my icons. So I basically have to decide which one I want to do. This one would get me a free hire when I get to that manuscript. I can get one of these townspeople added to my deck right away. And this one would get me a free resource of my choice. Oh wait, but what am I talking about? The only one I can get to is here unless I want to move further. So sure, let's go 1, 2 with my 2 movement. And next I declare what action I'm going to do. Since I'm on the interior, I could only do the castle action, which is looking for the little golden fleur-de-lis symbols, or I could do the manuscript action, which is looking for the black crosses. And I'm clearly going to do the manuscript. But first I have the option of dismissing the townsfolk, the little card that is on my space. I have to pay the amount of silver shown to dismiss them, which is also the cost to buy them closer to the end of the turn. If I do that, I get their icons added to my total for the turn, making it easier for me to complete an action, and I also get their bonus or penalty here, gaining a debt card from the upper right, but I don't do anything with the bottom, and the card goes out of the game, revealing the next card underneath. But you can only ever do that if their icons match the action you're doing, and since I'm going to be doing a cross action, writing a manuscript, then that will not work for me, so no need to worry about it. And every action in the game is pretty simple. You just look at how many icons you need, and you can make up the difference with resources. In the case of manuscripts, you need extra ink resources. But as I showed you earlier, I have 1 cross, 4 bags, which converts into 2 more crosses, so I can pay the 3 crosses without using my 1 ink at all. So I give this manuscript to my supply. And to talk briefly about how manuscripts score you victory points, since I'm going to be going for them a lot, there are 4 different colors of these bookmarks, and each full complete set of 4 gets you a ton of victory points, so you want to diversify, but also every complete set of 3 of the same color gets you one of these cleric cards that are not only worth 1 victory point, but give you a permanent bonus to your actions for the rest of the game. So you want to kind of go for 3 of a kind, but you also want to kind of go for every different color. And with that, I reveal the new book, which would require 5. It's a gray bookmark. And the ones with these little yellow flags above something show that it's a victory point endgame score. In this case, I'll get 1 victory point if I had this book for every hammer in my deck. So it would kind of reward me for deck building a certain way. But this one's getting me a resource, and what the hey, I know it's what I'm focusing on. Let's go ahead and get another ink. Okay, I'm nearly done my first turn. I could now hire this guy, and I've got 4 silver. But the AI is going for a lot of buildings. I'm thinking I might focus on nobles in the castle with the fleur-de-lis and, of course, manuscripts. So I don't think I'm going to go for the building guy. And final step of my turn, I draw back up to a 3rd card, a squire. Cool, maybe I can do some stuff in the castle after I finish getting a bunch of manuscripts. We'll see how it goes. Alright, now we'll get into the AI's first turn, and by the way, this first space on the AI board that's about to be covered up forever shows their starting resources. So since they like building, they have a ton of stone, which can supplement their hammer symbols. They've got a single gold, 1 debt, and 1 deed, and this just shows some upgrade cards that are trashed. Because they have these starting cards, but every time they get an upgrade symbol, like I do when I got some free guys, they instead get an upgrade card added to their discard pile that will make their hand of cards better and better as the game goes on. But here their turn's pretty simple. We just flip a card. And they did get a hammer. Let's resolve their icons. So this one means they're going to dismiss the person at their location. So this artisan is gone. He would have given you the power to flip deeds or debts to their better side and also help with buildings and trading. And the AI gets this little discard a card symbol, but for a lot of things, they don't actually use them. So we check the handy-dandy AI guide, and it says this actually means they get 1 virtue move. Okay, next they're going to move their Viscount 4 spaces clockwise, and then they're going to build, or if they are unable to build, they'll flip one of their debt or deed cards and gain a resource. But I'm sure building will happen. They're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And we check their building icons, and there are 3 different types of buildings, ones that cost 7 hammers, 5, and 3, and the AI always tries to build the most expensive one and the leftmost one of each type. So in this case, they've got 1, 2 hammers, and 3 stone. That'll count as 3 more hammers, getting them to 5, so they'll build their leftmost 5 value one. And just like our buildings, many of these will reveal ongoing bonuses, but this is one of the few one-time bonuses. They immediately get a card added to their discard pile from their upgrade deck, and then they don't worry about it anymore. But they also have to place the building on one of the 2 building spots adjacent to them. Some spaces even have 3. In this case, it'll get them an ink. And you'll see these little lines linking the building spots. Once both buildings adjacent to each other are filled, every player who has a building there gains the indicated bonus, in this case 2 silver. So like if I put a building there, we would each get 2 silver. If the AI built the other building spot there, they would just get 2 silver ones. They don't get double the bonus. And I should probably talk briefly about how buildings score, since that's what the AI is going for. They get an increasing number of victory points for each building they build of each type. So if they build, for example, all 3 of these buildings, it's worth 21 victory points. If they only build the first one, it's only worth 6. And here's the upgrade the AI got, by the way. Ooh, it's a very good one. A double wild. But just like my criminal cards, that will push their corruption up quite a bit. You'll see how that works when I play my thief. Alright, my turn will be quite a bit faster this time, because I'm just going to do manuscripts again. I could put down my thief or my abbot to get the same 1 cross, but let's save the thief for later when I might switch to a new type of action. Put the abbot down, so the traveler, I've still got 4 bags converting to 2 crosses, and the abbot gives me a 3rd, and he's going to let me move 2 spaces again. So I could go 1-2 and be on an outer space, or 1-2 and get another manuscript. That seems like the thing to do. Bam. I could dismiss the princess, but she's not the type of thing I'm going for, so I'll just get the manuscript. It's 3, so I don't have to spend anything extra. A gray bookmark, different type than what I got before, and 1 virtue move. And I think my double focus, like I said, is going to be the castle and manuscript, so I will go ahead and buy the princess. She gives me more virtue, and also some of that noble action. And there's a wild that I revealed. And in buying her for 2 of my 4 silver, I'm going to get another virtue move, which gets me to the middle. Not too bad. If I get all the way to the end without moving my corruption at all, look at this. I get 3 of those 1-point deed cards that I could flip, and 1 silver. Not bad. And I draw, oh my gosh, I got Emma, so I guess I'll keep on doing the manuscript thing for a little bit longer. Alright, AI's card slides down. They've got a fleur-de-lis symbol for nobles. They're going to dismiss the person at their location again, move 2, and then try to do a noble action. So they dismiss our slimy charlatan and get themselves a debt card. Then they move 1-2. And normally, remember, the castle, the noble action, can only be done from an interior one, but for the AI, since they're always on the outside, they just count the one that kind of matches with the spoke they're in. And let's show you how that placing workers action works. So just like every other action, we count up icons. They've got 1, 2 fleur-de-lis. And over here it shows how many workers you get to place. With 3 fleur-de-lis, they can put 2 workers. With 5, they can put 3. And with 8, they can put 4. But if they couldn't get to at least 3, they would not take this action at all, and they would do the alternative action of flipping one of their victory cards and gaining a virtue move. In this case, they do have a gold, which will shore up their 2 icons and give them 3 for 2 workers. And your workers always start on the outermost spoke of the castle. But whenever a given player has 3 in the same spot on the outer spoke, 2 of them go to the outside, and 1 of them moves 1 space in. So that's how you move them in. And to again talk about victory points, every worker you have on the outside is worth 1 victory point. Every worker on level 2 is worth 2. Every worker on the center is worth 3. And as they move in, they get bonuses for you. Like here, a worker would let them flip one of their deed or debt cards. Additionally, a big bonus, whichever player gets a worker in the center first will get this castle card. It's worth 5 victory points if they can keep it until the end of the game, and it raises your hand size by 1, so you'll have 4 cards instead of 3, although the AI doesn't benefit from that at all. Alright, so there we go, they place their workers, and you've now seen 3 of the 4 main actions of the game, so once we get a trading action done at some point here, you'll know most of the rules. Now let's get back over here, my traveler slides over, so all my pre-printed things are gone forever. And let's play our friend Emma, there she goes. So we're still going to have 3 crosses with the Traveler's ability still active. And Emma gives us the ability to not only spend ink blots, but also gold or stone, the other resources, to get extra crosses. So any resource except silver will help us out. She's saying I have to move 3. And you know, I'm actually fine getting all of the cheapy starting ones before I go deeper. So let's go 1, 2, 3, just end up 1 space over. And interestingly, I could dismiss the scoundrel since the skulls, the criminal symbols, are wild, but I don't want to because I want to actually buy her. So I'll go and get the 3 on my own. I'm getting 4 silver for it, bring me back to 6. And then with one of those silver pieces, I'm going to buy the scoundrel, adding her to my discard pile. She has that wild criminal symbol. She lets me discard a card from my hand or deck to cycle through faster. And whenever I play her, I'm going to get 1 gold. So again, it'll help me with both my manuscripts and also with getting to the castle eventually. And let's see, I can discard a card from my hand or deck. I like both of these. I'm going to discard from my deck. My lender discarded. She has the bags, which I'm not worried about. I do miss the fact that I'm not going to be able to play her for her ability. This lets me flip one of those debt deed cards, but oh well. Alright, and I draw a card. Got my trader. 1 bag, not great, but every time I take a trading action, I'll get 1 silver as a bonus for free. Alright, the AI is up. And alright, they got a criminal symbol of wild. So the first thing they do, and this is the exact same thing I do, whenever you play a criminal card, you gain a number of corruption moves equal to the sum of all the skull icons on your board. Now they only have 1, so it's just 1, but like after that guy moves down, if like that double skull came out, they would move 3 more, so they add together. Then they're going to get 1 debt card, which are negative victory points, but don't forget if they flip them, it could potentially give them those majority victory points at the end. They're going to move 4, and they're going to do this little laurel symbol, which means they'll do their preferred action and try to build. That just makes sure they do the main thing they want to do more often. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, close to me. And they always try to build on the leftmost spot, so they'll get a gold for it. But actually, I don't think they can build. This is good for me. Yeah, they only have 1 wild and 1 hammer. The minimum is 3, and they have no stone to spend. So they'll take the consolation prize, flipping a card and gaining 1 corruption move. And they always try to keep their flipped cards equivalent, but if they have an equal number like they currently do, they'll flip a debt before a deed. So this goes from -2 victory points from nothing, and they get a free resource, and they always want their preferred resource stone until they have 6 or more, and then they'll start looking at other resources. But that worked out pretty well. Anytime I force them to skip an action, I'm happy. And my Traveler falls off the board. Many of the characters you can add to your hand will have this little X symbol. That means this ability activates when they drop off, as opposed to the lightning symbol you've already seen, which is an immediate effect, and the little arrow that's an ongoing effect. Alright, what do I want to do here? I'd still like to get a few more manuscripts out of having these people here. So even though I don't love getting corrupted, let's play a thief, gain 1 corruption, and when she drops off, she'll give me a debt card and a silver. So lots of negatives to playing her. But the nice thing is she's wild, so after they start falling off, I can play my squire and transition right into placing workers, or play this guy in trade. She's got a 1, which means, yeah, I can just go 1 and get another blue. That'll be my 2nd blue, so not worth as many victory points, but 1 more, and I can get the cleric card for blue. And I'm going to get to hire somebody for free. And yeah, I don't even think it's a question. He's already on my space, but he costs 3, so I'll save that. He does have the negative effect of making me more corrupt when I place workers in the castle, but 2 fleur-de-lis with the other ones I've gotten is too good to pass up. Oh, and look at this! A missionary! Oh my gosh! She also has a cross and gives me 2 inkwells whenever she falls off. I'm going to buy her for 3 more. Maybe building my deck too much, but all these cards are kind of comboing together in a way I like. And there's another missionary there? Wow! Oh, I should have said, when I got the Enforcer, I got a 2nd debt, and when I got her, I get to discard a card from my hand or discard pile. And I'm okay with the Squire. I'm going to get rid of the Trader. I'm not in the mood to trade anytime soon. Okay, I'm almost through my deck. Something happens when I shuffle. I'll show you that. Okay, I've got a Laborer with just a hammer, not going to do much for me. And a Financer gives me a bag, but immediately gives me 2 more silver and lets me discard a card. Probably use that on the Laborer. That's not too bad. And alright, here comes the AI. Interesting, they're still not getting hammers. They're going to get 1 Virtue Shift, so pretty close to having a clash. Then move 3, and then try to do workers. If they can't do that, they're going to try to do building. But workers will work out fine for them, because they've got 1, 2 fleur-de-lis, and the criminal is a wild to give them 3. So they'll move 1, 2, 3, and they'll place 2 guys for the 3 icons they got in the first tier. Alright, bye-bye Abbott. And yeah, I think... am I going to play the Squire and start trying to do nobles? Yeah, I think so, because I want to take advantage of that thief. But first, I can spend some ink blots and maybe still do a manuscript. I'm moving 2. Let's see. Oh, yep, this is perfect. 1, 2, that'll get me to the last basic 3 on the board. But this time I only have a criminal symbol and 1 cross, so I do need to spend 1 ink blot to get to the 3 required, and I'm going to get a deed card worth 1 victory point. And look, the nice thing here is I have my first full set of 4 completed, which is worth 16 victory points all by itself. And I could buy a peddler, but he's about getting me stone, which is not the resource I'm focused on, so we'll just let him go by. Alright, AI, what are you up to? He's going to try to build, which I'm fine with because he doesn't have very many resources. Oh, whoops. He's going to get a resource first. That'll be 1 stone. Then I'll move 1, and then he'll try to build a building. Let's see. He's got 1 hammer plus the skull 2. So he'll be able to build a level 3 building by spending 1 of his 2 stone. He can't quite get up to a level 5. Oh, very interesting. He's coming back to the only clearing he's built in, which is going to actually work out well for him because he's getting a stone from it. Then he's getting 2 silver. But they don't use silver whenever they would get a pair. They get 1 resource instead. So there we go, a solid turn for them. They're up to 3 stone, and they've got another building down. And this is now a permanent bonus. Whenever they upgrade one of their upgrade cards into their deck, they also dismiss the person at their location. Alright, Emma falls off. I've got my thief and my squire. And I'm down to these 3 cards. And by the way, I have not shuffled yet, because you shuffle when you have to draw, so I'll shuffle in a moment. The journeyman, when he drops off, lets me recruit somebody, and also gives me a virtue shift. But I think for now I'm going to use the Financer to get this Laborer out of my hand and try to dig down to other things. So there we go. I immediately get 2 silver and can discard a card. Bye-bye Laborer. And then I get to move 3 spaces. And this is actually going to work out well. 1, 2, 3. Because at the end of any place worker action, if there's 4 or more workers in the same spot, I get to kick out every worker in excess of 3. So I can kick out one of the AI's workers if I put 2 guys here and cost them a victory point. So that is exactly what I'll do. I have 1 fleur-de-lis and my criminal symbol. I'll go ahead and spend 1 gold to get to 3 to place 2 workers. I will put them here, though it's not quite enough to pop and have them spread out yet. And I'm not going to hire the woodcutter, because again, I'm not really going for building. But at the end of the turn, I do get to kick one person out. And the player would get 2 silver whenever they're kicked out from the outer ring, but since the AI can't get that, they're going to get 1 more stone. Alright, now I'm going to shuffle, and whenever a player shuffles, and this includes the AI, they check their board, and if they have no criminals, they gain 1 free virtue move. If they have at least 1 criminal, they gain 1 corruption move. Ah, well. Let's see who I drew. My missionary, although I don't have any other crosses, so I might not want to play her next. And, ooh, my scoundrel. I can put her down to replace the thief, I guess. Alright, and the AI has got another hammer. They're going to flip a card, this time one of their deeds, since they already flipped a debt. Move 2, and then, oh, they're going to try to do a cross action? And yeah, I guess they can. Maybe. Well, I don't know if they'll be able to afford it, because look, they've only got 2 crosses and 1 ink blot. So then they're going to default to building with all their stone. They'll definitely be able to do that. So first they flip their deed. Then they move 2, and yeah, they're going to end up building. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite enough to get to 7. They can get to 6. So they'll spend these 3 and build their next one of these in 2 spaces away. Boop, boop. And yeah, just to confirm, they could have gotten to 3 crosses, which is not enough. They would have needed 5. So the build right here, flipping another one of their cards, which will be a debt that gets them another stone. And additionally, they've unlocked a new ability. Whenever there's a clash, theirs or mine, if they have 0 criminal icons on their board, then they get a free debt flip. That's powerful. All right, my thief is sliding down, which unfortunately gets me a debt, but also a silver. Yeah, you know, I'm actually not sure if I want to play the missionary or the scoundrel. Maybe I'll play the journeyman and try to do some trading for a little bit. He can move me 2. Let's see what I can reach. So without spending extra silver, I could get over to here, where I'd just get some silver for each bag. Or to here, where my bags will convert into stone. Oh, this is not a lot of good options. If I can get all the way over here, it'd be gold, but that would be 1, 2... Oh, I guess just a single extra silver movement would get me there. That seems worth it. So sure, I'll put down the journeyman. And I'll spend the 1 gold to get 3 movement. Remember, when he drops off, he's going to give me a virtue move and a free hire. So 1, 2 with a silver 3. And trading's the only action you haven't seen, but it's super simple. You just count up the bags you have, and then you get the conversion rate, and you can spend silver for extra bags. So here I've got 3 bags, and every 2 will get me a gold, so what the hey, let's pay 2 to trash this peddler. He'll get me a virtue move, which will trigger a clash. We'll see that in a moment, but also give me 3 more bags. That brings me to 6, so without spending any silver, I'll get 3 gold. And I could buy the Illusionist for 1. He would let me reorganize the cards in my area, which is super powerful. And he's also a wild... You know what? I like him. I'm going to get him. So I can, like I said, immediately reorganize my 3 cards. I could keep my Squire there longer. You know, the main one I want is the Journeyman to fall off. So sure, let's take the chance that I might draw another Castle card, another Place Workers action, and have the Journeyman fall off immediately to get me his little bonus. Oh, and I forgot I got this, which is going to trigger a clash. Let's see how that works. So after the chance to buy a card, which I did, the clash happens, and you see where your tokens currently are. By the way, once they meet, they can't separate, but any future moves will move both of them. So I get what's above. I get a silver and a deed, and every other player gets what's below. In this case, if they have 1 or more criminals, which the AI doesn't, they would get 1 corruption move. So here they get nothing. And then these both reset. Well, whoops, I said the AI got nothing, but don't forget, if they have 0 criminals, when a clash happens, they get to flip one of their debts. That's going to be another stone for them. Wow, they have a lot of those already. And let's see what new card I get. Oh man, it's a silly trader. Maybe I'll play the Scoundrel to go with the Squire next turn, just hope I get something better later. Alright, the AI drops off, and now they get a criminal. Okay, so they go 1 space, and they will get a new card, which will also trigger them dismissing the card at their location. Then they'll move 1, and they'll try to build. So the new card this time, they're going to like that. It's a hammer. And then, let's see, they're going to trash the Aristocrat, which gets them a virtue move. And that's going to trigger a clash for them. First, they'll move once, and then build. Let's see, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they can still only build their last 5. Oh, and interesting, they only move 1. Whenever they land on the same space as you, you get a free reorganize action, but I just did that, so I'm pretty happy. Okay, and they're going to build on the leftmost space, getting another stone. What do they unlock now? Oh, whenever they flip one of their cards, they also get to dismiss the person at their space. Well, they're definitely getting their building strategy going strong. I think I'm going to go and use my Squire, so I'll play my Scoundrel. Her criminal icon will get me 1 move, but she gets me another gold immediately. So I have a bunch of that, not bad. And I get to move 1 space. Well, clearly I want to pay 1 to move an extra 1 and get inside. So yeah, let's do 1, 2 for 1 silver. And I don't have enough silver to dismiss that guy and help me out. Let's see, I've got 2 icons. So I could spend 1 gold to get 2 workers down, or I could spend 3 gold to get 3 workers down. Let's do that. Because remember, 3 workers gets the immediate move out of 2 of them and move up for 1. So this guy's going to get me a gold or a outer worker move 1 space. I could move this guy up and move them in as well, but I actually like getting the gold for more worker actions later. And once again, I'm too poor to hire him. So let's see what I get. Ooh, the Enforcer. Okay, oh, that's great. I'm going to still have my other 2 noble people, so I'll play him down and just get a ton of people on the castle. Love it. And how about the AI? They're down to their last card, so they're going to start getting to their upgrades. Oh, and they're going to try to do a manuscript again. 1, 2, 3, 4. They might actually be able to, depending on which space they get to. If not, they'll flip, which will do nothing. Oh, that'd be great. I hope that happens. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to do this. So in the clash, they would have gotten a resource, which would be stone. They would have gotten 1 of each card, which is unfortunate because now they have more things to flip. And I could have reorganized my people, but they were already in a spot. Remember, I got like 2 reorganizations in a row, so that's all that would have done. Oh, and by the way, they would not gain their clash effect of being able to flip something over because they did have a criminal icon. Okay, but now let's do their actual turn. They're going to dismiss the person at their location, which is this watchman. That's going to get them a shuffle. And well, that's funny, they were about to shuffle anyway. But just like me, when they shuffle, they will gain 1 corruption if they have at least 1 criminal. Otherwise, they would get 1 virtue, so their marker will move 1. Then again, they're going to move 3, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you know what? Every single manuscript right now is at least 5, so they're just going to flip a deed, because they already have so many debts flipped. And they'll gain another stone. And they move 1, 2, 3 over here. All right, let's get some more workers placed with my Enforcer, although he's going to give me corruption each time I use him for a worker placement action. And he's giving me 3 movement. And what you really want to do is set up cascades of workers, which I'm going to be able to do right here. 1, 2, 3. And I've got 2, 3, 4 icons. No reason not to spend a gold to get to 5 and place 3 workers. Although since I'm taking the action, I'm going to take 1 corruption from the Enforcer's ability. So I put 1, 2, 3, and then since I have at least 3 here, 1 will go there, 1 will go there, and 1 will move up, although this guy's left behind. So I immediately gain this bonus before I resolve this new group of 3 that just came up. I can get somebody for free or trash a card forever from my hand or the top of my deck. And yeah, I'll go ahead and grab this other missionary to my discard pile, which lets me discard a card immediately. Now I'll discard the trader in my hand to hopefully get to some more missionaries and such. Alright, and now I do this one, so they come back. This is almost popping again. They go over there, and this guy gets me 2 virtue moves. Alright, so I've got a lot of people in the second tier. I would love, remember, to get 3 people in 1 space, so I can put 1 in the center, get a free resource, and get that castle card. They'll give me +1 hand size for the rest of the game. Alright, AI, what are you up to? So they're going to be trying to build again. They got a lot of stone, but they're definitely going to be able to get to 7, so they're going to have to build one of their little 3 ones. Okay, so they're dismissing where they are, which is the stone cutter. He's going to give them a discard, which, remember, for them is just a virtue move. Then they're going to move 4 and build. They've got 1, 2, 1 stone will get them to 3. That's the best they can do. Where are they building it? 1, 2, 3. Ah! Are you serious? They just love that place. Never mind, let me give them their stone back. So man, who knew? Maybe they're going for more of a flipping things victory than a building one. They're going to get another stone from that. Oh, whenever they flip, they dismiss the card on their space, which will be this sculptor for another discard, which is another virtue move. And let me get their other stone. So wow, wow, wow. Meanwhile, coming around to me, I guess I really should do another worker placement action. Oh, I forgot to draw at the end of the turn. So I have the missionary. Ooh, beautiful. The princess and the lender. Let's get some more placing workers down while it's going well. So we'll move here, and oh, if I do a place worker action, I'm going to get a corruption move. So I'll get a debt and a deed and 2 silver. Oh, I guess that's how it'll go. She's giving me 2 movement. And let's see, I think I actually want to spend a silver to make it 3 movement and go like that. Because then if I place 3 people here, I'll get 1 more guy here close to getting into the castle. And I'll put 1 here and 1 here, which will get me another guy there. I'm liking all of that. Wait, I forgot. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, so 1 gold will get me 2, 3 worker placements. All right, so 1, 2, 3, but they immediately scram. I get 2 virtue moves. That's good. Because I didn't want to keep building up debt. His effect first made me go here, but then the 2 virtue moves will move me there. Awesome. All right, and then this guy goes here. This guy goes here. He goes in. I can get a free hire or a cull. I've still got a pretty good number of people focused on building. I could go for the Tinker. He gets me more noble place worker symbols and also gets me ink for doing my manuscripts. Or, ooh, this peddler gets me a ton of bags, and also any clash will get me ink while he's out. And don't forget, I've got the guy that changes bag icons into crosses. So yeah, let's go for him. Ooh, and he's got an extra virtue move. So I'm going all the way up to 3 deeds gained. I'm okay with that. All right, and the person at my location is for building. Not going to get her. So I'll just resolve this. I get only 1 silver, so I'm still pretty poor. But I get 3 deeds, so this is starting to run out. But they're each worth 1 victory point, so better than those debts. And then the AI does have at least 1 criminal symbol, so they're going to get a debt for -2 victory points, although they flip them so quickly. And once again, a clash happened, but they don't get their bonus because of their criminal. Now, let's see, what did I get? A laborer? Yeah, none of this has really helped me out much. All right, AI, with all your debts and deeds, what are you up to? I'm going to try to do a castle action. First, they get 1 virtue move, then they're going to move 3. And let's see, they've only got 1 fleur-de-lis and no gold. So they're definitely not going to be able to do that because they want at least 3. So instead, they'll build. They've got 1 hammer and a ton of stone. But wow, once again, they are slightly shy of 7. That is going to save me so much if that keeps on happening. So they're just going to spend 2 stone with their 1 hammer to build one of these 3s after they move 3. So 1, 2, 3. Once again, they're going somewhere they've been before. Oh, it's going to work out well for them. We'll get a virtue move and another stone back. So they're about to trigger a clash again. And this new card says every time they shuffle, they're going to get a free virtue move. All right, back to me. My scoundrel drops off. Let's see, what do I want to do? Could do the lender to start switching to bags, maybe, and she would get me a card flip. Yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. I'll save the missionary until I know that some of my other crosses are in my hand. So let's do the lender. I'm sorry, I didn't reset these, did I? So she gets me 1 move, and she's got 2 bags, but I've still got 3 symbols here. I should probably just move and put some more nobles down. And actually, if I move here and put 2 there... Oh my gosh! If I spend a silver and move there, I'll get so much stuff. Look at this. 1, 2 with 1 silver. Remember, I had 3 noble symbols, which will let me put 2 down here, which brings me to 3. So 1, 2, those are both going to happen. Then I get to flip 1 card. Let's see, I have so many deeds and so many debts, but the AI is way ahead on flipped debts, which means that if the debts run out first, which might happen, I have a better chance of beating them on flip deeds. So I'll go ahead and flip a deed. All right, then I resolve these, so just pick which order I want to do it in. So boom, boom. This guy goes up. I can either do a worker move or a gold. I'll take the gold. And this guy moves over. And actually, ooh, I'm not going to take the gold. I am not going to take the gold. Hold on. Instead, I'll move this guy over. And now when I'm resolving this guy goes up. I get a stone and an ink. But here's the big thing. Look, I've set up another 3 with the move. 1 there, 1 there. Here we go, baby. Now, they don't go side to side here. It becomes really easy to funnel them up to the center. I get 1 resource. I guess I got another ink. And I get the castle card and 5 victory points plus 1 card to my hand. Oh, and by the way, I got 1 corruption move from the enforcer and then 2 virtue move from the 1 guy going to the 2nd level. And I'm not going to buy the guy at my location. Don't have enough money anyway. But now with the castle, I'm going to get 2 cards because my hand size is 4. And there we go. I knew they were coming at some point. Wow. And this must be the guy with the bags equal crosses. So we're going to go ham on manuscripts now that I've really seized control of the castle. It actually worked out well that I literally on my last fleur-de-lis action got into the center. All right, here we go. The AI, what you up to? Ooh, there's their upgraded hammer. They're going to get a stone, dismiss the guy at their location, move 3, and then build. And yeah, with that, they're definitely going to have enough to get the big building. And the guy they're dismissing, gets them a virtue move. Wow, they're going to get a lot of those out of here. They're going to wrap up the game quickly if that happens. But we don't resolve that yet. They move 3, and then 1, 2 hammers, plus 5 resources. That'll get them this, which will be plus 1 hammer for every turn now. So 1, 2, 3, and they're getting a gold. I don't mind that at all. All right, my enforcer finally drops off. And let's see, I think I want to play the missionary first, because she's also got bags. I could do a bag action this turn, and she'll get me some more ink when she falls off. So yeah, let's see, I've got 3 bags, or yeah, I think that's probably the only thing I can really do. So let's move 3. Where can I easily reach? 1, 2, 3, that'd be 3 to call a card. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. 1, 2, 3. Let's go and call the silly laborer in my hand. Once again, I'm much too poor to buy that guy. So I'm going to draw to 4 cards again. That is going to trigger a shuffle. I have no criminals, so I get one of those moves. And all right, I don't care much about the enforcer, but look at this. I'm going to be doing manuscripts for like 3 or 4 or 5 turns in a row. Maybe I'll try to get an entire complete set of all colors again. Oh, darn it, I forgot to do this again. Okay, so they clash. They get 2 deeds. There are 4 left before the game ends. Oh, and before that, they get to flip this debt, which will get them a stone, because they did not have any criminals. All right, now, sorry I forgot about that. Let's move on. Oh, a castle action again. They've got 2. Oh, they're actually going to do it because they've got 2 plus a gold. I don't really mind them doing it. They're going to dismiss where they are, which is, the Deacon. I would have actually liked to have had him. So they're going to get a virtue move from their starting space there. Okay, then they'll move 2, and they'll spend this to place 2 workers. Oh, and that's actually going to get them to the inside, because look, they'll go 1, 2, place the 2 workers here, 1, 1, and 1 to the center. But that's way fewer victory points for them. That's going to be 2 virtue moves as well, by the way, than them putting more level 7 buildings out. Oh, man, but they're going to get more deeds and end the game really quickly. Come on, Mike, move, move, move. All right, so this is perfect. I'm going to play my Traveler, and suddenly all these bags become crosses. I've got 5 bags, so 2 for 1 cross, so that's a cross, that's a cross. She has a cross, 3 crosses, good to go. And then I've got 3 ink, and he's letting me move 2. So yeah, I could move in to here. Gosh, that would use all my ink up, though? Wow. Oh my gosh, I have to get this one. Look, it's 1 victory point for every cross in your deck. That's going to be at least a few for me. But that would use up my last silver to move in there. Oh, and I definitely don't want this manuscript, because that gives me victory points for every flipped debt I have, which is none. The AI would love that. So yeah, I'm going to have to spend my last silver. Get up to 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. And with my 3 crosses, I'll spend 2 of my 3 ink. Get this one pretty solid for me. It gives me my second black, so if I can get a gray and a yellow, I'll have another complete set. Oh, and I drew a criminal, so lots more options available. All right, AI, just give me some time. Don't fast play too much. Oh, that's exactly what I didn't want. Although, I guess they are going to get 2 moves that way, so they won't get like a ton of red cards. That's good for me. And they get to flip a deed for free. Darn it. And then they're going to move 3 and try to build again. I guess they can, right? Oh, I guess they can probably get that one. They got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so they won't have to even spend their stone. Oh, no, that's right. They've got that. So that's 4. They could even get to 5, but they have no 5 buildings left to build. So you're going to move 3 and build this. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're going to get an upgrade. Remember, whenever they get an upgrade now, they also dismiss the card of their location. That's going to get them another virtue move, which will trigger a clash. By the way, their upgrades focus on placing workers, although it can get them buildings as well. So the clash will get them a stone. They get a single deed, so we're still pretty decently away from the end. And then if I have at least 1 criminal, which I don't, I would get a move. And if they have no criminals, they get to flip something, but they do, so now that's happening. All right, coming over to me. I'm losing one of my double bags, but I do get to flip a card. Now, they have 3 flipped deeds, so flipping this one won't get me within 1 of catching them. Or do I flip a debt and just get more ink? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because I'm worried about not having enough ink to place my manuscripts. And actually, to that end, let's put Emma down. That way I can use gold and stone. I've got 1 of each to afford better manuscripts. Although, wait, do I want to move 3? I have no silver to get extra moves. So 3 would get me 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Here we get me a gray, which I want. A victory point for every hammer in my deck. Oh, God, I called one out. This would get me a yellow, which I also want. Oh, my gosh, I get to place 4 workers on the castle? Oh, I could totally cascade into a ton of stuff with that. But that's 7. I only have 3 again. I don't have any money to pay to dismiss him. Yeah, I only have enough to get that one. I mean, it's still worth a good number of victory points for me because it's gray. See, I'll go 1, 2, 3, and I'll go ahead and get this. Oh, wait, I forgot about being able to use stone and gold. Okay, I am going to go here and literally get rid of everything I have. And that'll give me exactly enough to get this, so I'll get to place 4 workers immediately. Let's see, I'm actually going to put here, because that'll still get me someone in the center, and then I'll cascade over there. So yeah, I think over here is my best bet. So one guy goes over here, that's almost jumping. This guy, oh, whoops. Did I put a guy there? Yeah, I should have removed someone. I think I was the one who placed there. So I'll take away one of theirs, which will give him another stone. All right, sorry about that, but yeah, one guy comes in. I could do a worker move or a gold. Yeah, I'll get the gold, because I can count as ink right now. Can I do my other outer ones? So these guys are going to go over here, and I'll go here. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that reds are going to run out, so I'll go ahead and flip another debt and get another ink. And then I should have one more, right? Oh yeah, here we go. So I'll put that guy in and get another ink as well. That was a solid turn. I liked that. Still no silver to buy anybody. And I get bag guy, but yeah, I got a few more turns of doing manuscripts, I think. All right, and the AI. Almost a shuffling again. They're going to try to build. Will they have enough? Yes, actually, they will to get another 7. Darn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the one they already built. And they get another stone first. Then they'll move 1, and then they'll build. So it's going to be right here. That'll also get them a deed, so we're only 2 away from triggering the end of the game. And the reorganized symbol gets them another stone instead. So they have nearly maxed out their building points. Ooh, I get 2 more ink from the missionary dropping. That'll help. Yeah, the real question now is moving the right amount. Okay, so I've got 2 crosses. I think I'd rather do the abbot. I don't want to get a debt I'll never be able to flip. So that's 3 crosses, and with her ability, the gold can be an ink. So I can do a 7 or an 8 even. I don't think there are any 8s. And the abbot would be 2 moves, which would get me right here. But blue's not the one I need. Although it would give me 3 blues, which would get me a cleric worth 3 victory points, so I guess it would be okay. Oh, but I get a deed and a debt. I don't love that. What I really need is a gray, which is that one. I guess I can play my 3 guy for no real purpose except to move that far? No, that seems dumb. So sure, I'll get this one and get the cleric card. Now, getting a deed, of course, moves us 1 step closer to the game ending. And I only have to use 1 inkwell for this. Pretty easy. I wish I had some silver. Darn it. Okay, and I'm going to get... Oh, I got my other missionary. Cool. All right, and the AI... They're down to their last card. Oh my gosh, that's 3 skull moves. But that's okay. If they go far enough, they won't get deeds. They'll get debts. And they are going to get a debt. I like that. Then they'll move 4, and they'll try to build again. I can't imagine they'll be able to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yikes. Okay, there goes their last building. And yep, they're coming right into here. Building next to their other one. That's going to get them a virtue move. And they'll upgrade, which will also have them discard her for another virtue move. So bam, bam. Which means, oh shoot, I think when they shuffle, they're going to get some final cards, and the game will definitely be ending in a second. Alright, I gotta get a gray to finish my set. I gotta get it. So let's move him down. And I really care more about distance than icons. Ooh, but this gray is pretty good for me. And yes, the missionary will move me too, so I'll play her. She gets me an immediate ink. That's cool. Alright, so 1, 2. And this costs 5. I've got 3 symbols right now. So I'll go ahead and spend a gold and an ink, because my person who transmits gold to ink is about to drop off. Now I get 1 victory point for every pair of resources, but the big thing is I got another gray, so I've now completed 2 complete sets for a lot of points. But here we go, the AI is going to trigger the end of the game. Because, look, whenever they shuffle, they get a white move, and then they get a... Oh, wait, never mind. Unless they get something that moves them 1 more to the left, they won't end yet. And honestly, I think it's better for me than for them, because they can't build anymore, which means they're going to kind of be fumbling through other actions. Ooh, let's see. Okay, yeah, they want to build first, but they can't. They're going to get 2 stone, which, by the way, all their resources are worth victory points, so it's not a waste, but it's not really doing anything for them. Okay, then they'll move 2. They can't build, so they're going to gain a debt and then flip a deed. I'm okay with all that. Then because of the clash, they'll get another stone, they'll get another debt. It's a lot of negative victory points. Hopefully I won't have time to flip them. And I have no skulls, so I get a virtue move. Oh wait, apparently I'm the one who's going to end the game. Whoops. But yeah, that's it for them. At this point for my manuscripts, if I get anything except blue, I'll get another cleric card. That's great. Alright, so Emma's dropping off. So I can play the thief, which would trigger me getting a deed and ending the game. But let's see, thief only moves me 1. Oh, and 1 would be a blue, the one color I don't need. Let's see, if I play my journeyman instead, that would get me 2. Which would be a yellow, nice. But then I'd only have 2 crosses, so to get to 6, I don't have enough. You know what, I could do the Enforcer and go into the castle. That would trigger the final rounds of the game, but yeah, I mean, even though I'd only place a single worker, I'd cascade to get me even more victory points. Let's do it, why not? So he gives me 3 movement. For my final turn, I want to get back around to gray. That would give me a cleric card, it would give me a pair in my new set of colors, and let me flip a card for 2 victory points. That's all pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, then I would need a 2 to move, which my journeyman could get me. Although, wait, putting 1 guy here would be the only place that wouldn't, do anything for me. So sure, let's go 1, 2, 3 then. And I only have 2 icons, and I have no gold. I should have kept one of them, so that'll only place a single worker. Since we're taking that action, I'll go here, which will get me the final deed, and trigger the final rounds of the game. But here's the important part. I go here. Oh, I'm going to double trigger. This is going to be worth a lot. Okay, and this guy goes in. I can get a gold or move somebody. Now, I think I'd definitely rather move this guy here than get the gold. Okay, now I can trigger these in either order I want. Let's go ahead and go like that and like that. And this guy will move in. And I can hire somebody. I'll go ahead and get the cross guys since those are worth victory points for me. And he lets me reorganize my actions. And that'll be perfect. I can move these guys back and the enforcer down there. Alright, and then this guy goes, this guy goes, jeez. Oh, wait, where'd this guy just fall from? I think he must have been here. And this guy goes in, that gets me a rock and an ink. Maybe I shouldn't even be doing the manuscripts. Okay, that'll be an ink, that'll be an ink, that'll be an ink. But my clash gets me a deed, that's the last one, which means the AI is going to go, then we'll each take one more turn. I get my first silver in forever, which is hilarious, but that's good. It'll let me probably get to that manuscript I wanted. Okay, and the AI does have a skull, so they're going to move 1. And that means they don't get their bonus for when a clash happens. Alright, wow, so second to last turn for the AI. Oh, man, okay, wow. They get to flip a red. They're happy about that. Okay, and they're going to move 3, and then they can't build. They're just going to gain a red and flip a debt, which will get them a stone. Oh, whenever they flip a card, they dismiss the person at their place. Which is this guy. Wow, they are going to almost immediately do another clash. Alright, in my final turn, we're going to do a manuscript as planned. And yeah, I didn't get anybody who would move me more than 2. But that should be okay, because now I got 1 silver to move a bit more. So sure, I'll get my peddler out. That'll give me an ink when a clash is triggered, because then I might get more victory points for my manuscript that gives me victory points for every pair of resources. I'm going to make it 3 with my silver. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to get this one. So I've only got 2 crosses, so I do have to use 3 ink, unfortunately. It's giving me victory points for every hammer. I might have 0 of those in my deck. But I get the cleric, so 3 more victory points, not all bad. And that'll be it for me. So final turn of the game before we get to scoring. And oh, they're going to try to do a manuscript. They actually have an ink. And oh yeah, they should definitely be able to get one, well, depending on where they end up. So first you're going to flip a card. Oh my god, they have so many. Which one do they have more of? They have 5 deeds and 6 debts. They're going to flip a deed. And whenever they do that, they dismiss. So they're going to dismiss this guy to get a discard. Which for them is a virtue. They are going to have a clash. Then they're going to move 2 and try to do a manuscript. Oh, and it's a super cheap one. So yeah, they're not even going to have to spend any of their ink, unfortunately. Okay, and that gets them an immediate flip. Which will have them discard a person and get one of those moves. This time it'll be a debt, which will also get them a resource. They already have 6 stones, so they want a gold. Oh, but this is actually great. Look, they moved here, which means they're going to get 3 debts. Wait, no, it's not great. Oh, my gosh. What a crazy play. Because look, they're taking off the last 3 debts, which means both of the endgame cards will be in play, and they'll get 12 victory points for each of them. Oh, that was such a huge swing there. Although they are getting -6 victory points for it, so it's not really that bad. And they get 2 more resources, and oh, I get a red card because I don't have any criminals. So yeah, I'll say that was really not as terrible as I thought. So wowie wowie, that is the end of the game. There are a lot of points to calculate. Let's see how things turn out. So first, let's do the AI. They've got buildings. 21 plus 15, 36, 45. Workers in the castle, 46, 47, 48, 50. Manuscript sets, they only have a single one, so that's 1 point, 51. Unpaid debts is -8, so that is 43. 44 for their 1 deed. And 15 more for their flipped deeds. So that's 59. They get both cards for another 24. It's 83, and by the way, we skip the 8 in 2-player or solo, so I'll just get 4 points for each. Alright, 83 and then 1 for each of their resources. So 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 93 points. Wow. Can I match 93? Building victory points, absolutely nothing. Workers, this is going to be one of my biggest, so hopefully it's pretty good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 on the outside tiles. Each of the middle tiles is worth 2. So 23 with them. And then 5 in the middle worth 3 each, so that's 15 more. So 38. Oh, this is not looking good. That was supposed to be one of my biggest sources of victory points. Although I do have the castle card, so that's 5 more. So 43. Alright, next manuscripts. If this isn't big, I'm done. I've got 2 cleric cards, brings me to 49. And I've got 2 complete sets at 16 each. So that's 32. That brings me to 81. Okay. Then another pair, that's 4 more, 85. Man, I'm feeling that glimmer of hope. I'm getting victory points for every hammer, every cross, and every pair of resources. I've got 5 resources rounded down, so that brings me to 87. As expected, I have 0 hammers. But I've got 5 crosses, 92! Oh man, but I got some debts. I've got 2 unpaid debts, so back down to 88. Then I've got a ton of deeds. I've got 80 of these for 96, 99. Don't forget to get me a little piece of the pie over here for 8 more. 107, boom! Unless I messed up something, entirely possible. I got the AI by like 10 or 15 points. Awesome. So that was Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see my review of the solo game, click the link that just popped up. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.